Hi Libra, here is a general look at your solar chart for June 2014, and the good news is that every time the sun comes into Gemini is in a really good angle to your sun sign, Libra being a fellow air sign, and there's a lot going on for you at the moment. There was a lunar eclipse in your sign on in April, right slap bang in the middle of all of that cardinal cross energy, but we are still in the tail end of this cardinal cross energy because it was ongoing throughout May and now into June, although it's more about Mars, Uranus and Pluto in June and not so much all 4 points, but it still has a bearing. So the lunar eclipse in your sign would have been a sort of major punctuation mark, really, in view of what else was happening and is happening. So the sun is in Gemini. That's a very outgoing, adventurous, actually, area for you. Some of you will be traveling, feeling very much like you want to get out of the routine box. You want to bust out of that mold and get into doing different things, and you should. Even if you are feeling a bit war weary, some of you should actually make yourself get out there, because of all of this Mars energy in your sign backing up. That wouldn't be any good. You should be feeling in general more confident and assertive and decisive in your life, you know, clearer about things, since the Mars energy went into your sign at the end of last year in November, December time, and it will be in your sign for just a little while longer. That's until towards the end of July next month. In general, you know, this accelerates things around you, more hustle and bustle, more need to get active, to get going with things, to make up your mind and then just get on with it. And it does tend to improve vitality, but because Mars doesn't have an off switch, it can also be very draining. And so you just need to pace yourself sometimes. You see, don't let Mars dictate to you. Rather, just use that thrumming engine of Mars in a sensible kind of way, because it will be working differently with all Librans, depending on age and health and all manner of other things, natal chart. So, however, having said that, this has definitely been the time to get the ball rolling, and it still is. And some of you will get plunged into situations which just demand that you are assertive and perhaps, you know, even a little bit aggressive sometimes in order to get your way, in order to be successful. It is quite self-centered energy, but of course you don't want to alienate others. You want to soften the way you speak to others, and you need to get enough rest and recuperation. But this is, you know, your shot at getting on with whatever goals, ambitions, dreams, hopes that have been waiting there on the sidelines, and whatever program, just get with the program that you need to. Mars doesn't like hanging around, so that might mean that you are a little bit hasty, that you're not patient enough. So you need to just watch out for that, because not everybody will be having a Mars transit like you are. And you Librans born in the at the end of the first decanate, in the beginning of the second decanate, or with 8 to 19 degrees rising, are going to feel this. Sorry, 8 to 17 degrees rising are going to feel this energy the most this month. Well, of course, 8 to 19 degrees rising, you know, that's also going to be feeling this, but it's just a little bit less. So I've just narrowed it right down to the very, very, very most, where it's most amplified, which is between 8 and 17 degrees, but it will be felt in lessening degrees as we go outwards from that point there. Mars is actually rolling forwards now, so this might mean it's easier for you to overstretch yourself, or to get into confrontational situations, or to feel tensions going on around you. There can be ups and downs in close relationships, or it can mean that a partner or somebody that you are close to is having ups and downs in their life. And you've got to be flexible. You've got to be perhaps more detached, not in a cold way, but just more detached from the situation, right? And it just depends on the situation and the underlying chart energies, your natal chart. But because of what's going on for a partner, and this isn't just this month, this is in general, life could be taking you off in a completely different direction. And you, even though you have to ride out the turbulence, as it were, and it can be a bit of a roller coaster, I mean, inwardly you might feel quite liberated by this. And actually this energy has been around in your chart for it's about 4 years now, something like that. But just at the moment it's being triggered more by Mars. Now, so you're very much ready to rock and roll with Mars in your sign, and you can look back on these many months that Mars has been here, because it will be about 9 months in all, I think 8-9 months, and you can see just how much you've achieved, and it will really help you to do that. But as long as you keep it in balance and pace yourself, and not allow the tense side or the confrontational side to kind of overwhelm you and start dictating to you. Just, you know, it's like almost like a racing car or a thoroughbred racehorse or something. You know, just got to keep it collected, and you got your hands on the wheel there, and you're sitting in the driving seat or in the saddle. Until the 17th, discussions, correspondence and ideas may revolve around short-term plans or longer-term considerations, like how are we going to work this, you know, how are we going to get from A to B. It can be to do with career as well. It can be to do with an enterprise, a project, and anybody who can facilitate your goals. Also officials, bureaucracy, red tape, and you putting mental effort into you know, being persuasive or expressing yourself in the best way you can, articulating yourself in the best way you can. And then Mercury does actually turn around and go retrograde at the end of the first week, and will retrograde right back into Gemini, because it starts off in Cancer. And then when Mercury comes into Gemini, this is focusing your mind on the bigger picture, the distant horizons. Some of you looking at schedules and timetables and thinking of flying off somewhere. Or indeed, it might just be the planning stage of something, which is having you thinking bigger about things, whether that is to do with travel or whether it's simply to do with fresh potential. And how can we, you know, turn this to our advantage, sort of thing. And it can be very much a time for you to get out of the normal everyday grind, and it's quite an uplifting energy, helping you to think in bright new colors, really, really refreshing your mental palette, and giving you a refreshing slant on things. It might just be from others who are crossing your path, very much from different backgrounds, giving you a different slant on things, and brightening your day in lots of different ways. And it can be also that you are consulting with certain experts or specialists in something, whether that's, you know, anything from a mechanic to a lawyer to a you know, somebody who knows how to make bread, or to you know, dig a garden, whatever it's about. You are very much given the opportunity to learn here, get the word out, beat the drum on something, be the guide or the guider, the informed or the informer. For nearly the whole month, your ruling planet is very supportive through a key relationship with people at a distance, people coming from far away, or connecting with them or through, obviously through social media and you know, email and all that. And this is a very facilitating energy. It's an energy which helps you to balance your perspective, your feelings, helps you to get things in proportion in your mind, and also you can value them for their wisdom, but also again their knowledge, their expertise, their know-how, their guidance. And once more, this is great for putting things out onto a wider stage, Libra. And you and someone could be teaming up and be on quite a learning curve together. You know, you're learning through doing on a daily basis, whatever that's about. And then from the 24th, Venus then, for just the last week of the month, moves into a much quieter backwater place. It's a place of emotional depth. So, things can touch you more deeply now, and also others can feel very moved by maybe your words or your presence, or whatever else it is. It's great for romantics and artists among you, but in general it can mean things can become more intimate, confidential, involved, you see. So keeping your cards and your feelings closer to your chest. Negotiations could go in your favor, you know. It's a bit like playing poker, really. And again, you doing well here, or at least not too badly, shall we say. And some of you could feel like shifting into more commitment in a business sense, or in a personal relationship. And this is a good area here for you to really be working quite hard on the inner planes to create what you want in the outer world. And now from the 21st, the sun's going to move, and then that comes to the top of your chart where you're taking more seriously your goals, what you've got to do, you've got to be responsible for on a daily basis, and also to do with authority, you being more authoritative, or you having to be aware of the rules imposed by authority figures or parents, you having to be more parental, or you having to, you know, honor and respect those parental figures, or indeed it can be, you know, just authorities or officials in society. And the overall idea here is for you to project a good image and think about presentation skills, and professionalism, competency, that kind of thing. And then Saturn, just a quick word on Saturn, has you being very austere, putting in your belt, watching the piggy bank, being very, you know, having your wings clipped a little bit there, and meeting the responsibilities in life through challenges through the material, physical side of life, and putting in disciplined efforts to manage this side of life, being consistent, and also looking at working hard to capitalize and make more of assets, whether that is money assets, property, possessions, or just whatever space you've got, or whatever skill you've got, or even just whatever abilities that you were born with that you can really develop, and make what you have work for you better. And it will need hard work. It always does with Saturn here. So if you feel a scarcity, feel a lack in that area, if you feel as though something's been taken away from you, then actually Saturn here is like throwing down the gauntlet and saying, okay, what are you going to do about that then? And so there is always another answer, even though you do feel as though you're limited, and this can be quite a physical area to do with health as well. There is always going to be another answer, and it's just for you to almost like, you know, reach that bar or step up to that plate to find it, and to start using your abilities or your assets in a different kind of a way. And this one is, except for you very, very late Librans, this one's leaving here this year on Christmas Eve. And you Librans born near the end of the second decanate and the beginning of the last decanate, or with 16 to 19 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most over this forecast period. And Jupiter, I must mention Jupiter, is up at the top of your chart, a magnificent position for Jupiter, and helping you to, more doors flying open for you, giving you opportunities. Somebody in authority, somebody who's got the maybe the social status or the wherewithal to be very facilitating and enabling for you, being there and helping you to be successful professionally or with your general direction in life. And it's likely, and this one has a little way more to run. It will run on into the later part of July, and by the end of the transit you should feel more established in your field, more confident, or the die is cast regarding your general direction in life. The decision will finally be firmly made, and then you can identify more, because actually what's behind this one here is that you are allowed to identify more with what you do for a living, or what the role is that you're playing in others' lives or in the world, and you can identify more with that, but also you can learn a great deal through doing it as well and teach others. And you Librans born near the beginning, near the end of the second decanate and the beginning of the last decanate will feel this energy the most during this forecast period, and that one will be between 19 and 27 degrees rising. And that's it for June. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those, and also you can look at this on my website if you want to check on something. It's all written up there, and there's a few interesting things on my website, and I'll see you again the next time.